Jen Vargas, producer at Indie Cinema Showcase. Be sure to ask your questions to the Explorer during the interview with the hashtag GlassLive on Twitter or Google+. Hello, Jen.
Hello.
May you introduce yourself for a start?
I'm sorry?
May you introduce yourself for a start?
Oh, I'm so sorry. The audio is kind of. Hey, I'm Jen Vargas. I'm producer of Indie Cinema Showcase, which is a television show here in Orange County, Florida, about filmmakers. Basically, what I try to do in my day job in film production is what we cover on the show. So it's kind of a weird circle of life kind of situation. But we cover film production. We cover things like the Florida Film Festival, for example. We cover different sort of film-themed events and maybe some off the beaten path that may not necessarily be considered film-related, but do have film components in them. So, and I also do a lot of volunteering in the area with American Cancer Society, as well as some other local charities.
All right, so how did you get Glass?
Through Twitter. Through Twitter, like a lot of other people, I submitted a entry through the hashtag #IfIHadGlass. And my entry was probably not a usual one. I said, I'm not a tech geek person, I'm not a developer, and I'm not a celebrity. Why not pick me? I'm a regular person. I do cool things as a regular person, but I am a regular person, and I don't have I'm not rich, I'm nothing like that. So I thought it was really neat, and at the time too I was unemployed, very badly unemployed, and I thought, well, they're not going to pick me because I'm not going to be able to afford the $1,500 that it takes to get Glass. But they did somehow. I don't understand how that happened, but they picked me, and I'm very grateful.
All right, then quickly, what is your point of view on Glass and wearable computing? Is it the future of technology?
I think so. I think with a little more refinement and definitely more on the software end. Developers out there, pay attention. I think that Glass could be a very good thing, not only industrially with big business, but also with individuals and in smaller businesses as well. I think that people fear what they don't know, and I think right now that's kind of where Glass is. Because of this device on its own looks kind of strange. You look like the Borg or the Terminator or something like that, and people aren't used to seeing them. But I think once they become more prevalent, I think people will embrace it more.
All right, so during the If I Had Glass program, you applied saying you would document your life, even if you weren't a celebrity. So we saw you took many photos with Glass, but did it really help to document your life so far?
So far, yeah. I mean, I document my life. I'm more, as a filmmaker and as a TV producer, I'm more of a shower than a teller. I'm not one who will sit and make a long blog post about something. I'd rather show it to you. And I use Instagram mainly in my life as a shower versus a teller. And I wish Glass had Instagram because it would be even more convenient. But I find myself going back to my phone on occasion. But so far, I mean, it's been a great benefit. It's definitely an attention grabber and a conversation starter. And I've only had Glass just under 2 weeks, and I've probably given a couple hundred or more demos, one-to-one group presentations to the mayor of Orlando, to our fire department, to our fire chief and police chief, and it's been an amazing experience so far. I haven't even had it a month, and it's already this crazy.
And you got French guys who invite you to interviews?
I'm okay with this. I don't know why. I'm perfectly okay with that.
Great. Would you say that since you have Glass, it fulfilled the dreams you had about it?
I agree with Sarah when she said it definitely met expectations. I wouldn't say I was dreaming about it. Oh, Google, please pick me. I need Glass in my life. It will be fabulous and rainbows and unicorns. It's not so much like that. It's definitely met expectations. It was useful in ways that I didn't think it would be, like Googling on the go. Googling on the go is pretty awesome. Normally, you would just pick up your phone and say, Google, blah, 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 blah. You get a bunch of websites. With this, it's kind of like Twitter in that it streamlines those results, and it allows you to see it about here. And to be able to see it, just glance up occasionally and maybe tap the website to see the basics on the go is pretty amazing. I love that aspect, and I also love being able to take a picture in the moment. I may not be able, because of battery constraints, I may not be able to tether my phone 24/7 and be able to transmit it exactly in that moment, but soon after. Normally I will when I'm in a Wi-Fi zone, because a lot of things around Orlando are Wi-Fi compatible.
So you're saying that glass isn't a dream. I think there's people like us who dream about glass, like rainbows and unicorn. But 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 it's kind of hard for us to get glass because we're not American, we're not in the US, and yeah, it's a big deal to get in touch with Google. It's a big deal to apply to the program.
I'm
Yeah.
completely honored. I don't mean to downplay it at all. It is amazing. The fact that I can wear on this heads-up device that looks just kind of odd right now, I can wear a computer on my face. It is pretty awesome. Voice command, just manual dictated command. I can do a lot of things that my cell phone can. So if you want to try it, I could put it on your face. So. And you can see at least a little bit, kind of.
Yeah, I can see the screen.
A little bit. Oh, I think I just Googled something. Probably what I just said. That's kind of a downturn in the device. Is this section right here is your touchpad, and it's very sensitive. So when you go to take it off of your face, you have to be aware that you're not touching it, and then hand it to someone else. Otherwise, it will Google your entire paragraph. Which is awkward, especially when you're going back through your Google searches. I've had that happen numerous times during demos.
Yesterday, I took a photo with Glass through the webcam with Bruce Burke. Like, okay, Glass, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. It was. I think Glass is really a thing that I would definitely buy if I could. Yeah. And you were talking about glass in your life. What is the reaction of others when you wear glass publicly?
The public reaction has been a very, very positive and curious one. I have only had 2 interactions that have been negative. Both of which, actually, both of the reactions have been to people who are in the public eye. One musician after a concert, and then the police department in Orlando. The police department, they didn't know if I was recording or not, and the same thing with the musician. They both, once they learned my purpose for glass, and once they learned how it worked, whether it's through voice or whether it's through action, they then understood that, okay, you're not recording everything I'm doing, and there is no face recognition on there, and there is no intrusiveness. This is probably the worst surveillance device you could pick. 1, it's bright orange. People are going to see this thing on your face. 2, this area right here. People aren't used to seeing that. And 3, you have to do something to make it happen. Like right now, you can see this. You can see that it's on there. So a normal person, if you don't know how it works, they're not going to know that. But once you explain it to somebody, it tends to calm the person down, and then they become curious. Then they start asking about price point, release, and all that stuff. So otherwise, very, very positive. I've been to several maker spaces in the area where they experiment with Raspberry Pi and 3D printing and things, and they're blown away. They're just like, oh, Google Glass, yay! They're just very, and I'm happy to show it to anyone. I don't think I've turned down anyone who's asked to either try it or was just looking at it very curiously. So I don't see why you would have a device like this on your face, on your person, that's yours, and you wouldn't share it with somebody else. I couldn't see sitting in a room with being the cool kid sitting with this on your face and people coming up to ask you about it and you just not saying, here, try it.
So you would say that the privacy conversation in the US and in the world isn't as big as we could imagine?
No, I honestly don't think so. Like I said, it's absolutely, with the way this looks, it's absolutely the worst surveillance device because it is very detectable. Whereas a cell phone, for example, you can take like a Galaxy 3 and you could probably mount it on you somehow and still use the camera. Same thing with iPhone, same thing with an iPad if you felt like it, even though those are ridiculous looking.
With the TV?
Yeah, I know. There, hello. But you can get pinhole cameras at spy stores and things that have a little camera right here. You can get pins with cameras in them. So I think with the whole privacy issue, I think is completely overblown, and people fear what they don't know, and I think that's a lot of the misconception about glass. And there are a lot of people not necessarily using glass like I am with hashtag glass for good, but I think there are people out there who maybe wear them in not so appropriate times. They just wear them 24/7 to sleep, in the shower, all that. I would not. I don't do that necessarily.
So you don't wear glass all day long?
No, no, I don't wear them 24/7. I don't really see the point in wearing them 24/7. The first day I got them, they recommend you only wear them for an hour. I probably wore them for the rest of that day just to become accustomed with the touchpad and the voice command and what I could and couldn't do on and off Wi-Fi or tethering. So that time I wore them more probably than I have in most days. But of course, when I go out to an event or when I go out to a meeting with one of my events that I volunteer for, or if I'm just going out, just to go out, I'll wear them, and I always have at least 1 to 2 people ask me about it. So not 24/7, but sometimes it kind of feels like it.
And what is glass for good? What is the concept?
My my hashtag glass for good is, if I can get an attention-grabbing device like this to bring attention to causes, to bring attention to things that may not necessarily have a platform, or things in my community that could use some more exposure but may not have, again, that platform, why not go there? Like a gift for teaching, for example, provides teachers with school supplies for their kids. I went there and it got the attention of everybody. I was tweeting through their network, I was tweeting and Facebooking pictures and Google Plusing pictures, and people started asking about it. People started asking about their back to school drive. People started asking about their facilities, if they did tours, if people could volunteer. And same thing with Give Kids the World, which is also a local village, really, for kids who are terminally ill, so they could come with their families and relax, enjoy Disney World, enjoy Universal, enjoy local area themes. I live in the heart of theme park land. Touristville is just right outside that door. So they could go to SeaWorld and they can enjoy this with their family, and it may be their last time out. It may be their last big family experience. So if I could bring more donations to those, bring donation sponsors, any sort of good, positive focus to those people, why not do it? And that's exactly what I want to do. Same thing with American Cancer Society, same thing with Ellen's Walk with the Angels, same thing with other local charities in the area.
And don't you think that this is the point of view of Google with Glass, that it's made for that, for doing such a thing?
I think so. I think Google, being the global, worldwide help, I want to help do cool things and make an impact on the world. I really think that obviously it wouldn't be the main focus, but it is, I would think that it would be a very positive focus, not just for tech bloggers, not just for people who like to wear Bluetooth devices on their face or person. I would think that they would want to use it ultimately for good. So I am flattered, honored, and very much enjoying being a part of that.
And what would you say is the next step for you with Glass?
Next up for Glass is Indie Cinema Showcase is going on hiatus in a couple of months. And then in the winter, probably around January or February, we're starting up our 4th season. Yay! And I think we haven't quite figured out how we're going to put Glass into the show, but we'll at least we've blogged about it already, and I blogged about my journey too. I think that we will do at least a segment or two throughout our season. Due to budgetary constraints, we can only do 1 episode a month, and we air 12 episodes in a season. So we would love to do more if we had sponsors or anybody out there. If you're listening, we would love sponsorship. But I would love to do a regular segment of Glass, just to see what it can do, to see what it could cover, or maybe do cutaway to Glass Cam and say, hey, this is shot by Glass. You can see behind the scenes of a crew and behind our camera guy or whatever, and see just the behind the scenes of production, especially here in Florida where we so desperately need positive focus on production happening. So I'm hoping Indie Cinema Showcase will be a very good showcase of that. And then also Relay for Life of Hunters Creek is a American Cancer Society event happening November 9th and 10th. I will be doing my social media lap that I do every year, probably around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'll be tweeting and stuff through Glass, and then I'll do demos as we walk the track. Because it's a 21-hour fundraiser. So I plan to use Glass all 21 hours, obviously with charging breaks and things. And Making Strides Against Breast Cancer is happening October 19th at Lake Eola. And I will also be walking in the 5K with Glass to document that 5K journey. So those are the 3 main things I have going on, at least until the beginning of the year.
You told us that there was an issue with the live battery.
Oh, a documentary?
And I was asking that is the battery life, a problem for you to use Glass
Oh, I'm
daily?
sorry. Yes and no. The battery, if you're recording video and if you're tethered all the time, and you have, if you're using it, if it's in the on position for a long extended period of time, it's more of an issue than if you're just wearing it. Like, for example, where did I put them? The glasses that you get with Google Glass are pretty amazing. They're the best pair of sunglasses I've ever had, and I'm trying to find them, and I don't know where they are. But I wear them a lot for sunglasses, believe it or not. And then I have this little thing, this little cylinder, USB, so I could carry power around with me. It only takes an hour to charge. Once it's depleted, maybe a little less than that. So power issues, I haven't really run into a lot of them because I have a couple of these and because I'm near an outlet. So in the field, though, that would be a pretty huge issue.
Okay, and about Glass in general, we're only in a testing version with 1,000 explorers around the world. How do you think Glass will enter the full market, in your opinion?
A lot of people are thinking it's going to go in big business first, in terms of like aviators or in the healthcare profession with surgeons or emergency service people, and then also with educators, with tech educators, especially those who have web classes. I think that that's probably the most realistic way that it will sort of spill, but I think the Glass Explorers program, hashtag Glass Explorers, was very smart. Because I think that where you may have developers who do all the tech and they develop all the glassware and all that, and then you have people like me who may be more on the charismatic side and just super excited and trying to figure out where that goes. They have just a barrage of people who can pretty much show the value, demonstrate the value to the community. So I think that Google, for right now, they're definitely on the right track. And I gotta say one thing: the glass guides that you go to when you go to the store and you get this cool bag and they give you your box of glass, and they say, hey, this is yours. This glass bag is yours, and you get to do really cool things with it. And let us show you how to start off, and then they send you off and running. They could not have been more amazing. Between the 800 number that you call in for anything, anytime, between the support, the e-support online, and between the glass guide in person. My glass guide's name was Martin. He was very, very nice. And it was amazing with glass. They normally have a fitting. This part right here, this little titanium part, bends to acclimate your nose bridge. Mine, out of the box, boom, on my face, no fitting done, no fitting required. And he was like, I've never had a fitting like this before. So it's just the embracement of Google to the explorers and the embracement of the explorers to the community, I think, is their right track. Sorry, it was a long way to get there.
And would you say that glass will have an impact on our society, the way we live?
I think it will. I think it will. I've seen a few articles already with disabled people and people who may not have full mobility, people who are blind that are benefiting already. Of course, the speaker needs some work, the bone conducting speaker, but it's a start. And I think as more, like my optometrist, for example, saw glass and she tried them on, and she is interested in carrying the prescription version of glass, and that could benefit a lot of people. And same thing with any sort of trade that you do. Anything that doesn't take away from what you're focusing on right here is a great thing. So you don't have to look at a monitor over here. You don't have to look at a book. You don't have to tilt your head down. I mean, the benefits pretty much right now are infinite. It's just the developers and other smart people, unlike me, will have to just flesh that out. And once it is, I just think that it would be of a great benefit that we don't even know about yet.
And you talked about reading a book and looking at a monitor. Is it possible with glass to watch a movie? Do you think it will be possible in a soon future?
I think so. I think it would be like on long flights or travel where you're not the operator. I think that it would be of a benefit there. I think it would be of a benefit to college students who maybe have an ebook and they say send to, if they don't have Apple TV, for example, send to glass and you could watch everything happening right here. You could study in bed or whatever. I think in those respects it would be.
And looking at the glass part of glass, is it easy or is it tiring?
For me, the first couple of days, I kind of had eye twitch issues, simply because, and my optometrist told me this, your eyes aren't used to looking up here to look at something. You're used to, this is your sight line. You're used to looking here peripherally and then turning your head. You're not used to exercising your eye muscle this way. So in the first couple of days, I did have some weird issues, and I never really had any sort of headache issues at all. But for the first couple of days getting used to it, yeah, I did have some problems, but I don't even know that I would call them problems. It just, an adjustment would be more appropriate.
Okay, and what would you say are the two main misconceptions about glass people have?
Oh, two main misconceptions. One, that you're being recorded at all times, for sure. People think that just because you're wearing it, it's in the on position, you're transmitting like we are now, a Google Hangout or to YouTube or what have you. And I just, it's been completely overblown in the media. And being a member of the media, it kind of, being on both ends, it's like, really guys, come on. But then I see the sensationalistic part of it. It doesn't make sense, but that's the news. The second misconception about glass is that only kind of nerdy people can use them. I don't think that, I think that there is a very small learning curve with glass. I don't think that there's not much to it. It's either voice command or a touchpad command. And once you learn the gestures, which couldn't be simpler, and once you learn what you can tap into and what you can tap out of and how to go back, I think that will be a lot easier. It's learning the hardware and learning the software. So the misconceptions being recording at all times, worst surveillance device ever, so don't believe the hype, and that only smart people can use them.
I don't think nerdy people are smart because I guess I'm a nerdy people. I'm a nerdy person, and I don't think I'm so smart. You know, you're producing movies, and I'm like developing websites. Everyone has his area of doing things, and I don't think only nerdy people can use languages, development, things like that. But I don't think like the smartphone. The smartphone is used by many people, and I don't think there is an issue with that.
Mhm. It's
Uh,
just a different set of skills, really. I don't think it's very much smart versus dumb versus engineer and developer versus regular person. I think it's just a different set of skills. And I think those skills can be successfully married should people have the curiosity enough to explore them.
so we are near to the end. So what advice would you give to glass lovers like us who can't have glass yet, so they can get one?
Well, if you were in Orlando or even near Orlando International Airport, I would absolutely meet you at the airport and show you glass. I wish I could. I mean, again, this is the best I can really do right now, but I try my best. Ding. But yeah, again, the best advice I can give to glass explorers out there is some people are very protective over it for security issues or just personal space issues maybe, or um, I don't know why people would be weird about that. Honestly, that's my opinion. But let people try it out. Don't tell them what it does. Show them what it does. Let them see for themselves. The cool thing about the Glass app, the My Glass app, that is hang on, I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
The thing about the My Glass app is that it has a screencast ability. And if you can, like right now, that's what I'm looking at.
Okay.
So I can give demos through screencast. And why not use this as a tool if you don't necessarily want to take it off your head? Just say, this is what I'm looking at right now. You should, this is what you're seeing. You won't get the full impact of what you're seeing, but I just don't be afraid to demonstrate it. Would be my biggest advice to people. And of course, make sure you're in an okay environment, that you're not around people who may run off with it or whatever. I like to think that I tend to think of the best of people. I'm more optimistic than the average person, I think, but I would not be afraid to show it to anyone. And I would not be afraid to ask them what they think. Ask them for their opinion. Once they've tried it out, well, how do you think this could benefit someone? How do you think that this could go, how could this change the world? How could this be the next iPhone? Cool story, I actually got tied up in the Apple store that I used to work at in Florida Mall down the way for, 2.5 hours at their grand reopening of people who just wanted to try glass. And I was like, okay, sure. From ex-coworkers and ex-management to 2 kids from Northern Ireland. Hi, Connell and Matthew. All those guys, they wanted to try it, and a pilot came up to me with his kids and was like, I would love to try this. I was like, here you go. So I gave nonstop demos that whole day, and I don't know, I just don't be afraid to show people.
And here goes the last question. In one word, what does Google Glass mean for you?
My first instinct would be to go to innovation, but I think more education is probably the word that I would go with, and not just education in primary school or college or something, just general world education.
All right. Thank you very much for having been with us in this Glass Story interview.
Hi again, guys. Hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you did, be sure to let us a comment. And don't forget you can watch the next Explorers interview clicking right here, or the previous clicking right there. Also, don't forget to check out the website GlassStories.com for more exciting stuff about what Google Glass is. Bye! Bye bye.